The theater darkens. The curtains are still closed. You are about to hear the theatrical work called Les Miserables, a rap opera based on the beloved classic novel by Victor Hugo, with music and lyrics by S.E.M. and Frederick William Faber. You will hear everything a theatergoer would. Since there will be no live actors, you will also hear a narrator explaining what theatergoers would see on the stage. When the curtains open, you will see a street in a small French town with a few small shops, including a bakery with bread behind a window. There are several small groups of children dressed in ragtag clothes. An adolescent boy steps into the center of the stage and addresses the audience before some of the children begin to speak.
Tu dois aimer le couteau de l'anglais. Tu dois aimer le couteau du français. Peau noire, peau blanche, café au lait. Ce sont les jeunes avec qui je vous manger. Je vous chanter, je vous danser. Je vous danser, je vous chanter. Je n'aiderai pas que je suis fatigué. Si tu m'embrassais, je serais enchanté. Nous pouvons nous battre, nous pouvons célébrer. Le monde peut brûler et nous pouvons regarder. Au-delà de tout notre cœur, nous pouvons nous efforcer, apporter à tous ces mondes la liberté, égalité, fraternité.
A young man in ragtag clothing takes center stage.
Here's the story of a man not from glorious stories, more deplorably sorry. He'd always worry about how sorely he needed some bread, needed to be fed. How do we wed the tale of a simple man who happened to be a thief with an industrious, illustrious, industrial chief? And that's just the beginning that we're bringing. Let's start singing about a man who had a character that wasn't always winning, but is sinning, always sinning. You'll have to judge from where you're sitting. You see these children aren't grinning. Listen to the church bells ringing.
Three boys on the street talk with each other.
My tummy is aching, mine's grumbling, mine's rumbling. I'm stumbling, I'm tumbling. Look at the bread that they're making, I'm taking it. You see those police, if you take it, you'll be taken quick. If the cops come this way, just smile and nod your head. God, I want that bread. We were born poor, the world's worst crime. We were born poor. Tell me, why do the innocent die? The world's worst crime. The world's worst crime. To not have a slice of bread or a dime. The world's worst crime. The world's worst crime. Tell me, why do the innocent die? Tell me, why do the innocent die? Jean, my frere, I'm so hungry I could die for a bite to eat. I might just try to bite my own darn hook, now that would be a feat. J'ai faim, quand personne me dit je t'aime. Par pain, la lignée des jeunes en famille est plus longue que la Seine. When half the world is starving, who cares if there's a young man in need? When half the world is starving, tomorrow is not guaranteed.
A young boy speaks to his sister.
La mañana no está garantizada. Cuando no haya comida, pida sopa y entrada. Pero es cuento de hada que cada niña sea adorada, cuando cada chica no tenga nada.
A young girl speaks to her sister.
我饿了，你能我的姐姐，如果你给我一些饺子，你的妹妹说谢谢别的孩子。吃饱尝尝，我说请帮帮我，当时她说对不起很忙。 Just look at the baking, it's there for the taking. I swear I'd be breaking that glass, but I'm shaking. There's the cops, they would shoot, in my boots I am quaking. One loaf of bread for a boy who hasn't eaten in a week. How can I go to bed when I'm so consumed with hunger I can barely even speak? How can I slumber when there's nothing between my cheeks? And I know my days are numbered like a newsboy's extra sheets. I see treats for a fat schoolboy who cheats and eats the grease I only dream of from beastly fattened geese. Some swallow foie gras, some sigh ooh la la, some cry to their mama that they might die if they don't eat, chew and swallow. Some noble men are full of it, some of them's abdomens are hollow, and I could wallow in a pit of despair or say theft is a crime, but shh, I don't care.
Hey, those kids!
Get
those
them.
kids!
We see a large prisoner in a prison camp where 24 men are breaking rocks.
Work could kill you, breaking rocks. The inmates could kill you any given night. The guards will kill you just cause it serves you right. If you want to live, you have to learn to fight. Learn to fight, learn to fight. Incite a riot cause it serves them right. Learn to fight, learn to fight. Might makes right, punch, kick out, bite. I've got scars from battles with men twice my size. For 19 years I've been certain of my certain demise. When I got hurt I would cry, but now I've learned how to lie. At least now I eat, I had to earn that prize. See those men with no meat, soon they'll fertilize. Value life, learn to fight, you'll concur if you're wise. The name's Valjean, Jean Valjean. My hope's all gone, cause I'll never be an ex-con. My next bond will never be posted. All cause I wanted one loaf that could be toasted. Aristocrats eating roast, boasting of wine that's got the most vintage. Fat cats with lineage, how I wouldn't like their pate with spinach. The 1% of the 1%. Dom Perignon, guess that's the noble's advantage. Now here I'm hobbled and wounded, and my wounds have no bandage, and I'm soon to be doomed. Never knew hope, so it can't vanish. Digging in my grave, feel like religion cannot save the man who lived a life depraved, then found that prison was his cage. I was driven by my rage for men who were living to old age, drinking what they made with no misgivings, only hate for the living, breathing human beings who were barely getting paid. So now I'm here, et je suis fatigué. I'm tired to my bones. La société thinks I'm out of its way, but I doubt they could say that justice was served with this hellish amount of pain. For stealing a loaf of bread, you may think you have freedom. Don't let it go to your head. Learn to fight. Learn to fight.
Several men kick and throw punches at each other.
Learn to fight. Learn to fight. Learn to fight. Learn to fight. Learn to fight.
Men lunge and dance around each other. A prison guard approaches.
Inmate Valjean. Inmate Valjean. Your hope's all gone, but it won't be gone long. So long you've been strong. Now at last you'll sing another song. Repentance is the key to freedom. Your sentence makes a right from wrong. Your soul's grown cold inside this hole. You've burned like coal. But now Valjean, after 19 years, you've earned parole. Valjean, you've earned your freedom. Here's your papers every month, check in. I know you have no next of kin, so stay away from the heck of sin. Find honest work or you'll be back again if you break parole. That'll be your end. Don't so much as spit, don't so much as swear, or I swear the law will find you, or my name is not Javert.
Jean Valjean carries a bag on a stick over his shoulder, walking, exhausted, on a street in the French countryside. A carpentry crew is nailing together a house frame. Valjean approaches the foreman of the crew.
I'm sorry, but there's no work here if you've committed crimes. My men make honest wages for honest work and as little time. I've got 10 men with clean records waiting in a line, and it's winter time. All I want is honest work. The one thing that I cannot find. I am not blind and I'm not unkind, but I gotta lead a crew and I've not got time. I work like 3 men, I'm hungry, I'm dying. I'm sorry, man, your problem's not mine.
Valjean hobbles down the road a bit, then collapses next to a tree. He pulls his cloak over himself, shivering. He remains there a minute. Then, a priest, in white clothing, walks up to him and speaks.
Good sir, it seems you need a meal, a warm place to sleep, let's keep it real. I know who you are, I can see how you feel. Are you really real? Is this the real deal? That will be revealed. I'm a criminal, a convict, I'm on parole, and God cares for all mortal souls. Come give me your company and dine with me, drink some wine with me. You need no finery, you need not be what you're resigned to be. If you want to see the light, then try to see. God sees your future, not your past. Jesus said, take this bread, the first shall come last, and the last shall come first. I think that's you, my brother. It's a cold, cold night. God wants you to see another. Dine with me, come have some bread and wine with me. Dine with me, you need not any finery. Share with me my bread and meat, every man deserves to eat. Please come to my table, there's an extra seat.
The bishop motions for Valjean to follow him to a small clergy house next to a church. They both enter. The bishop's housekeeper is bringing food to the table. Then the 3 sit. The bishop says a prayer, and Valjean begins to eat ravenously, almost like a wild animal. The bishop passes Valjean a plate with more bread when Valjean's plate is empty. Valjean continues to eat, then finally takes a long drink and rests.
I'm glad you're well fed. Now to bed, rest your head. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This, my brother, is the gospel. Hear it. I'm glad we broke bread that is leavened.
The bishop leads Valjean to a very small room with a bed and table and nothing more. Valjean collapses on the bed and seems to sleep. The bishop leaves. Then, Valjean creeps out of the room and begins to remove a silver candlestick from a nearby cabinet. The bishop sees him. They pause. Then Valjean punches the bishop in the face. The bishop falls, and Valjean immediately flees. On the left side of the stage, the bishop rests in the living room of the clergy house as his housekeeper gently cleans his bruised right eye. On the right side of the stage, two police officers grab hold of Valjean, who struggles to get away. One police officer is holding a handful of silver forks and knives. After a brief struggle, the police officers subdue Valjean and lead him back to the clergy house. One police officer knocks on the door.
Monsignor, we found a dangerous man who lies and says you've given him silver. Do you denounce this convict, who it appears has clearly pilfered? Forgive me, officer. I've fallen and been thrown off kilter, but I can still walk fine. You can see that I can. Please, officer, be kind and bring me this man.
The housekeeper speaks.
I thank those lawmen that they found that low man. He'll go back to the pen and break rocks if he can.
My vows were to save souls. My vows were to save lives. Let him keep what he took. We need not forks and knives. In fact, let him take our candlesticks. Consider it a tithe.
You go too far with your kindness. That mindless man just took our finest. Your blindness to the faults of others.
Enough, that man might be my brother. My place is not to punish, but to help a man of God discover. God said to love your enemy if you want to learn to love another. If a man asks for your shirt, give him your coat as well. If you want to go to heaven, this man seems to be in hell. My flock come to church, but they seem to not have listened. Follow the words of the Lord our Savior, the reason we were christened. Love your enemy if you are a friend to me. Those were the words of Jesus Christ. If they shout obscenities, offer amenities. A man of God needs no silver. A man of God needs no gold. The path to heaven is laid out before us. Be meek and seek to see the road. Monsignor, here we have him. We've grabbed him, we've nabbed him. This worthless liar fought quite hard, we nearly had to stab him. Ridiculous, he claims you actually gave him the silver as a gift. But of course I did. What do you think, this fine man up and pilfered it? Valjean, you quite surprised me. I cannot believe what you have done. You took the silver, but not the candlesticks. These are the best ones. You mean to say what he said is true? Of course, young man, that's what I said to you. Now set this man free, cause I said it true.
The police officers cautiously release Valjean.
Farewell, officers. Take care, Monsignor. Take care.
Valjean, the bishop, and the housekeeper are alone in the clergy house. The priest looks upon Valjean with compassion. Valjean looks dumbfounded, awestruck.
Silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold for a mortal soul. Silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold for a soul that's cold. Silver and gold, the Lord cares not for riches and possessions. Silver and gold, your soul will remember when I gave you this blessing. With this silver, I bought your soul. I'm giving it to God. Now you know the Lord is merciful. Look to heaven and be awed. You thought you were my enemy. Now you see I've shown you love. Now to any you think is your enemy, show him the peace that comes from the Lord above.
Valjean just stands there, still dumbfounded, still awestruck. Valjean walks on a narrow dirt road with trees all around. Again, a stick is over his shoulder. This time, the bag it carries is much larger, with 2 silver candlesticks poking out the top.
Soul feels light, my soul feels free. I have a mission, I have a purpose. How can I be like a man of God? Never worried, never nervous. My soul feels light, my soul feels free. Let the Lord lift me up, let the Lord carry me. My soul feels light, my soul feels free. Let the Lord lift me up, let the Lord carry me. I was a purposeless man with no purpose at hand. Nervousness drove me as nervousness can. Never swerved from the plan to take what I thought was mine. Filled with hate for the thoughtless kind of inmates and guards who would stalk me from behind. Prison can drive you straight out of your mind, but I doubt I could find this fine bishop's match. He was conscious I had a conscience he thought he could catch. I didn't know I had a conscience till he handed me a batch. He bought my soul with forks and knives, and I'll never hand it back.
Valjean continues to walk down the narrow road with a lightness in his step. Javert dismounts from his horse and struts into the Montreal police station, where he's greeted by an officer.
Mr. Policeman, Mr. Policeman, keep the peace, man. West to east, man, let the city's grime and its crime cease, man. Mr. Policeman, Mr. Policeman. We gotta come down hard and crack 'em with the law. If needs be, we gotta crack 'em in the jaw. Mr. Policeman, we gotta keep the peace. Mr. Policeman, I'm your new police chief. Welcome, Inspector Javert. I'm afraid you'll find our fine old town has its share of sordid affairs. Your iron fist will be welcome here. I think I can help you clean up your act. I've been stationed in Paris, there's no worse place than that. In the first place, it's the worst place filled with criminal brats, urchins and orphans who deserve to be slapped. Well then this is a nice town, not as bad as all that. Let me give you a tour. Here lad, hand me my hat. The mayor's the most famous, the most important, the richest, but he's a modest man, not too big for his britches, not afraid of hard work. I've seen him out digging ditches, happily too. He was whistling, singing pitches. He's a strange fellow, but a humble soul. Very calm, very mellow, never out of control. He's a strange fellow, but he commands much respect. The whole town would vouch for him, that's what I detect. And how came his riches? How was his fortune amassed? Well, that fact is quite simple. He invented black glass. He enriched the citizens. In his factory they labor, always upright, encouraging satisfactory behavior, good wages, good hours, and he separates the sexes. I'm sorry if I perseverate, but this man just perplexes, never vexed, never irked. He's a man of the earth, and he's never afraid if his hand has some dirt, and he has no more land than the workers who work for the check that he writes, for the francs that he gives them. I would guess he did well in his catechism. There's no schism between the workers and management. Same size house, the differences are vanishing. His lack of ambition is really quite astonishing. Well, I have no admonishment or negative comment, not a thing. He's a strange fellow, but he commands much respect. The whole town would vouch for him, that's what I detect.
We see the business district of the town of Montreal, France. There are a number of storefronts, including a bank and an attorney's office. There is a factory on the right, a large building. We can see Valjean, well dressed, sitting in an office in the factory, sipping a cup of tea. Javert struts up to the factory door, flashes his badge, and is let in by a middle-aged man in plain clothes. The man ushers Javert to the open door of Valjean's office.
Miss Madeline, it's an honor to meet you. Please have a seat, it's an honor to greet you. This factory's quite a feat, you must have had men to teach you. One teaches oneself if there's need, I beseech you. Please have a biscuit, please have some tea. You're a man of simple tastes, as I can easily see. I have what I have, but please eat and be free. Have all you want, there's more if needs be. You've done well for this town, it seems they follow you blindly. But it seems that there's someone of whom you remind me. You've been kindly, don't mind me, my mission is one: to enforce the law, clean up crime, and see justice done. I trust that your gun will not rust without sun. There are crimes in this town, none will fuss, there are none. Then we agree, sir, we must see crime undone. Yes, Inspector, I detect, you're second to none.
Javert takes another sip of tea, puts down his cup, pauses for a minute, bows his head, turns and leaves. Valjean just sits there. He has a very intense expression on his face.
I see it in his face, he knows me. Of evidence there's not a trace, they told me. Not a paper out of place, they sold me. My identity's an ace, so coldly Javert pretends to not remember. From January to December, November, just 9 years ago. This brutal man, I fear it so. My mortal foe, my prison guard. And now that prison isn't far. No, there's nothing he can do. I'm as free can be. That's true. But just in case I lay my plans, I'll stay my hand. This stain can't land upon my factory, my band of loyal workers. This I can't stand. I'll lay my plans, I'll lay my plans. Leave nothing to the face. Won't wait till it's too late. There's a destiny I must create. I'll make my way so no delay in me. I'll lay my plans.
Valjean sits with his head in his left hand, seemingly dealing with deeply troubled thoughts. After a few moments of this, he exits his modest office and leaves the factory. Walking purposefully, he goes down the street and stops in front of the attorney's office. After a brief pause, he goes in.
Mr. Madeline, how can I be of assistance? Mr. Caron, I've always admired how you listen. I seek to make a major change that may seem strange, but you must arrange. I trust you won't find me deranged, but my workers will soon make a major gain. What is it that you seek to do? Just to acknowledge what is true. A business is built on the backs of its workers, and I trust that I haven't attracted shirkers. My workers work hard, they deserve their fair share, so they'll get one share each of that factory there. Good God, you're selling? No, I'm giving, and there's no need to swear. I see it as fair, they'll soon see I care. There'll be workers and owners. Anyway, capitalists are the worst sort of loners. Share and share alike, that's the word that's operative. There's a word for this scheme, it's called a worker cooperative. Of course, Mr. Madeline, consider it done. And as for wishes, I have another one. I feel that you may feel this may seem surreal, but I owe a great debt to Bishop Muriel. His archdiocese will get 10% of my wealth. Don't make a show, send it with stealth. It's done, Miss Sir. I'll draw up the papers. No man with a soul could call you a faker.
Valjean and the lawyer shake hands. Then, Valjean exits the attorney's office, walks down the street, and enters the bank, where he is greeted by a banker.
My finest client, my most treasured customer. You surprise me, Mr. Madeline. I'm more accustomed to seeing you only one time in a month. It's the signs of the times that it's time for you once again, my friend, to check on all your finances and holdings. All your interest has been growing. Hope you're not here for a scolding. We'll extend your line of credit for your factory and supply chain. We hope it's satisfactory. If you're concerned, please pick my brain. Mr. Moreau, you're so much more than so-so. With any banker on this earth, you could go toe-to-toe. But, Monsieur, I'm here for all my banknotes. I'll no longer need your services. Thanks, though. There's a company that's soon to be a business opportunity. Between you and me, you would agree. I appreciate you had few fees. 700,000 francs may seem like a lot, but I need quite a lot for this business to be bought. Miss Sir, it's a pity, we'll be sad to see you go, but of course I can't be mad you had to grab your dough. You speak and act like a true professional. To do otherwise would be truly irrational. We wish you the best, good luck in your endeavor. Remember, our relationship will never be severed. Au revoir. Au revoir. We're going on a journey and we're going far.
Valjean leaves the bank with a suitcase full of money and enters a horse-drawn carriage, which immediately starts moving, led by the horses. Eventually, he reaches a wooded area. He takes out a knife and makes X's on 2 trees, 20 feet apart. Then, he takes out a shovel and begins to dig a hole. He spends a while digging. Then he places the suitcase in the hole. Inside the factory, there are 3 blazing furnaces. 15 women are working by them. A young woman spins glass onto a rod inside one of the furnaces, then removes the rod with glass glowing red and begins to shape it into a bowl. Then, the only man, the foreman, walks up behind the young woman, looking over her shoulder. Then he grabs her buttocks with both hands.
Sir, you overstep your bounds. You'll find what I've already found. Our boss, the mayor, can't stand harassment, so don't grab my ass, you backwards bastard.
Another woman waves a letter and speaks.
Oh, poor beautiful Fantine, so clean and pure. At least that's the way it seems, I'm sure. Always attracting the men's attention. But here's a letter that's been sent unmentioned.
It's my
what
letter.
you didn't mention is you're a whore. Oh dear Cassette, who I adore.
That's my letter.
I think of you daily and nightly, I dream of you. Your mother loves you, though it might not seem to you. True, you're my child, you mean everything to me. I imagine your face everywhere I see, but I cannot be with you, or everyone would be doubting me. I have to work, but never a cent I keep. I work to pay for your room and your board, for your medicines, your food and your clothing. Don't think I wasn't reticent. We could have been together, but this town would not have let us in. The world is cruel and starves a single mother and child who live in sin. So it seems Fantine's not so virtuous, not so virginal. You have heard of this. You just keep it to yourself, you little bird, I'm pissed. You think you'll get me fired? I'll fire you first, my fist is what you should fear, you queer little thing. Do you have a sad story? Oh, I'm sorry, dear, sing. Virtuous woman work here, you should know. So my dear Queen Fantine, my dear, you should go. No! Go! Have mercy on my soul. Go! It was out of my control. Go! To feed my child's my only goal. Go! It's my girl who paid the toll. You're done here, pretty little thing. Go songbird somewhere else and sing. Go somewhere else, maybe you'll find a lover. The only place you belong is under the covers. Mercy, have mercy on my soul. Would you leave a single mother starving in the cold? Mercy, mercy for my child. Would you starve an innocent? Mercy, mercy, mild. Where will I go? What will I do? I don't even know what's true. I don't know if I'll starve or have the sense for the rent. I'm lost, I'm helpless, I need something heaven sent. In any event, Cassette needs plenty of cents, plenty of francs. The Thenardiers took care of her, and I owe them plenty of thanks. But many a franc is something I haven't got. Money, God, I wish I had a lot. You're late on rent.
A large, muscular, angry-looking man approaches Fantine.
You're late on rent. I got bills. This ain't charity, so get the hell out if you can't give me the 5 francs that you owe me. If you think that I'm kidding, you clearly don't know me. I have nothing but my body. Well, you could give me that. Your body's not too shoddy. Please, God, no. I'm a woman of principles. Well, guess what? Money's God, and it's invincible. Listen, if you're sensible, you'll take one piece of advice. There's a madam who lives by the water. She's really, really nice. I wish I could say the world is kind, but it's heartless and it kills. So start to think about a way to pay your friggin' bills.
Fantine looks lost, wandering around a carnival atmosphere by the town of Montreal's harbor. There are 2 ships moored in the harbor, and lots of sailors and scantily clad women flirting with each other. Most of the sailors are drinking wine from the bottle. A somewhat disheveled, unpleasant man approaches Fantine.
A full head of hair and full of spirit too. A little piss and vinegar will take you far. Don't fear this, Sue. I hear that you need a few sous. That be true. We could do a deal. Fair is fair. I'll give a franc for your hair. No thanks, 2 francs and you'll thank me later. I really don't like you. It's strange, but I love haters. 2 francs then. Don't spend them too quick, pretty lady. There's a lot of con artists in the city who are shady.
The unpleasant man takes out a scissors.
Mercy, have mercy on my soul. Mercy, have mercy on my soul.
Fantine buries her face in her hands.
I still can't pay my rent. I need something heaven sent.
The man chops off all of her hair. A woman in her 50s, in a slightly revealing dress, walks up to Fantine.
If your hopes are fading, just remember one thing. You have youth and beauty, you could seduce some duke or king. 2 francs, I need 3 more just to have a roof. Sweetie, just be less aloof. A roll in the hay never costs no one an arm or leg. You gotta offer something, I'm telling you it harms to beg. These men are mostly pleasant fellows. We just stoke their fires like a pair of bellows. Listen, I'll send you the handsomest, you'll be giving me thanks. By the end of the night you might make 50 francs. More than enough to have a pleasant den. You'd be surprised there's not a lot of unpleasant men. Some are almost like presents, some less pleasant, but let's not be hesitant. There's no time like the present. Let's not act like peasants. This bed is the essence of luxury. Come with me, learn your first lessons. It's life or death, do or die. It doesn't matter if I cry. It's life or death, do or die. It doesn't matter if I cry. You're right, my girl, the world is hard. Smile on the outside, put up your guard.
Fantine cries, then tries to compose herself and wipes her tears away. She looks absolutely miserable. The madame waves at 2 sailors sharing a wine bottle.
5 francs, fellas, for your wooden situation. 2 for 1, that's good initiation.
The madame gently pushes Fantine into a small room with a bed.
And don't forget to laugh a bit, they enjoy cooperation. As for your enjoyment, no one said it's a vacation.
The 2 sailors high-five and follow Fantine into the small room. The madam closes the door and walks away. We hear muffled sounds coming from the room. And more sounds. Finally, the sailors exit, buttoning their clothes, and high-five again.
Pass the wine bottle, yes, 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 yes. Man, that was hot, that girl was the best.
We hear Fantine cry from the small bedroom. 5 or 6 prostitutes cautiously approach.
The poor thing, the poor thing. Maybe Madame will make us take her under our wing. Tonight I made 100, it's a wonder I still can sing about that dream I always have, where I get a ring. No love to color on when our bodies are for sale. We gave up long ago. You might have some fun, but for us it's hell. No love to color on, no love to warm our hearts, no love to laugh with us or smile with us or cry when we depart. They put things inside you, at least there's food in your tummy. When you're young and a belle, the outlook is more sunny. Then you're older and on to the next, it's not funny. Life is pure hell when you sell sex for money. Every time you're with a call girl, she gave up on love. She's a wage slave, you're a rapist when push comes to shove. So push and shove and shove and push. Those girls are human beings, not pretty faces, breasts, a tush. One session will cost you more than paper. You may think you're a rebel, but the devil will see you later. No sunny day for a runaway. I could die any day, but they would smile anyway. Many say there's a plan, but they don't give a damn. With no hope from these blokes who just poke what they can. And I hope that they can, and I hope that they will realize that there's more to me than just a hole to fill. I wanna kill the low-life scum who use my body like a thing. Cause once upon a time I dreamt I was a princess and a king would take me for his queen and we would live forever happily. But now I have no family, and now they treat me crappily. They're tapping me for all I'm worth, and soon I'll be a dried up hack. You may have a happy life, but no one cares that mine is sad. No love to come around when our bodies are for sale. We gave up long ago. You might have some fun, but for us it's hell. No love to come around. No love to warm our hearts. No love to laugh with us or smile with us or cry when we depart. Hey pretty ladies, can we get a freebie? Help the needy, that's what we be. You're seedier than seedy, no freebies for babies. Save your wages for a week if you wanna freak these ladies. I got 5 francs, I'll try her thanks. How much extra to get my man spanked? Yo bros before hoes, look at those roses yo. I wanna get a dose of that one. Go for broke, can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but she might turn a trick if she's doused right. Well, I ain't got a virgin in my house tonight. There's a version of a virgin, wow, what a sight. I can't even afford a hoe, so let's throw some snowballs. Better than blue balls, come on throw, you got no balls? Sure we do need a good target for target practice. Let's blow off some steam before didactics. Look at this young actress with a dress that's backless. How should we throw? Let's practice our tactics.
The students, laughing and passing around a wine bottle, start scooping up snow and making snowballs. Then, laughing uproariously, they start to throw the snowballs at the prostitutes. Fantine stumbles out of the room and is hit directly on her chest.
God, that's cold, you sons of demons! To hell with you and those evil seamen! You're medievally evil, I couldn't be more vehement! What are you, 7 years old? Try being men!
The students only laugh louder and throw more snowballs at the prostitutes. A snowball strikes Fantine in her face, and she rushes at her assailant. He grabs her by the waist and tries to kiss her, and she scratches him on his temples and cheek, leaving red marks. Javert appears with a deputy.
These girls of ill repute, I still should shoot. If she clawed a little higher, she could have killed you. I suggest you press charges, sir. Will you do it? There's no need to chew it over. These girls are fluent in the art of seduction and the production of vice, the corruption of youth, the corruption of life. That's right, my friends, this officer is mother-loving right. You'll discover what it means to be a lady of the night. No! Officer, please, kind officer, please, help me off of my knees. You've just got to believe. These scoundrels were attacking us. I got snow in my sleeves. It's wintertime. They're telling us just die and go freeze. You see, my fellow, how sin begets sin. When they worship the devil, his kin begets kin. This girl's life's destroyed, but it could have been him. He could have been blind if I hadn't jumped in. Let that sink in. As for you, it's 6 months at the very least. And then to hell I hear the devil's a scary beast. I understand, son, this crime can't be undone. But don't be glum, chum, it's 6 months for this scum. Rules are rules, rules are rules. Fool me even once and that makes 2 fools. Too loose with your lips, too cool for school. These useless pips with their useless tools. Don't abuse my fuse, cause it's true you lose. If you snooze through the news, here's the news, it's a ruse. If you think you can choose to break the rules at your discretion, then there's no one to protect you. There won't be a next session, my digression. My point is only this. My point is only that the venomous hiss of the enemies of righteousness are slithering all around us, trying to confound us. You might have thought you found trust, but if you trust in a sinner, sin wins and you lose. You choose a life of sorrow or follow the rules. Born bad, some men were destined for glory. Born bad, some men's destiny's more gory. Born bad, too many poor men have told me sad stories, but they're wicked to the core. I set them right, but they ignore me. Some were born with mortal sin. I was born with that sort of kin. My father was a thief and my mother was a whore, but I was born to abhor them. I was born for something more. Some were born with evil in their souls. There's no escaping fate if you're deceitful, mean, and cold. As for me, I was born to rise up above that lot. That's not what I wanted, so I became that cop. My mission's the division of the criminal decision. I view sinners with derision. I excise sin with precision. I make my living off the imprisonment of women and men who think we're sinful. Living, they're winning. Even children are sitting with their faces all grinning, pinning their hopes on the devil, but their hopes are dimming when I'm patrolling, when I roll up my goaling. Life is to be trolling and reel every sinful soul and take them out of society and off of the streets. So get off the streets or be off. You'll be caught by the heat. Don't be distraught. You're where you ought to be, getting caught and getting beat. You were born bad.
On the other side of the street, Valjean is walking next to a man rolling a food cart full of fruit. Suddenly, the man trips and falls, and the large cart falls on top of him. Valjean and 3 other men rush to the scene.
A jack, this cart would break a giant's back. He'll die in 5 minutes if we don't try to act. My spine is gonna crack. I'll die unless someone finds a jack. Try my back, that'll crack. The cart will rattle back and smack. Your back will crack and that'll be that. Get a jack or his back will crack. It'll snap in half. Stop your claptrap and act.
The other 3 men just watch as Valjean kneels and places his back against the fallen cart. With a huge show of strength and effort, he lifts the cart upright off of the fallen man. Mr. Mayor, never again will I be a naysayer. You're no player, you truly are a hero. Please, we all do what we can. I've got 0 credit in the eyes of God for just helping how I can. If helping is the gospel, then he's a zealous man. Jesus said to give your coat, there is no jealous fan. If humankind didn't kindly help, we'd be a hellish clan. Tell it, man, every fellow at hand. What words from the mayor? I do what I can. From each one what he's able, to each one what she needs. For each of us has sweat and tears and red blood when we bleed. He said let each do what they're able, let each do as he must. And you shall feast upon my table, if it's in God you trust. So if I'm a man who does what he should do, what the bishop did for me, I will do for you too. Don't misconstrue or continue until youth has left me true. I'm not that young, but there's still plenty left to do. The world was gifted to me, maybe the plan was to lift it through me. Like a sieve, let evil fluidly pass. You seek to do it to me, do it to me. I'm soon to be free. I was made a man by a man of God who taught me to always do what I can. From each one what he's able, to each one what she needs. For each of us has sweat and tears and red blood when we bleed. He said let each do what they're able, let each do as he must. And you shall feast upon my table, if it's in God you trust.
Mayor Madeline, I fear I must confess, I must redress the situation. Unless I speak the truth now, I must fear death. You're blessed, my mayor, you are blessed. I was always jealous of your riches, your success. I even wished you harm, though never death. I thought your fame could not be just. I wished for fame, I had a lust, but now I see there's none other I could trust as much. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Fauchelevent, I'm so sorry that this happened. This accident is tragic. I actually must take action. Fear not for feelings you have had. You have my financial backing. I cannot and will not see you impoverished by your lacking. Your ability to ride your cart, your means to feed your family. It may seem this dream ends badly, but please believe you need not feel sadly, madly. This world spins, but I guarantee you will work again. You may be an absentee from the world of hard labor, but I will find you a sedentary job you can savor. Your behavior, Mr. Mayor, I think I may have died, for you're an angel or a saint. I'll try not to contradict you, that would be a strange complaint. Even if you can't walk well again, you still can be a gardener. I know a caretaker at a convent, perhaps you can be his partner. I'll never be able to thank you, but with love, your thanks is thanks enough.
Fantine is in the one dimly lit jail cell of Montreal's police station. She lies in a thin dress on a small cot with a dirty sheet on it. She is sweating and coughing. She moans, then takes out a small locket on a chain, looking at it as if it had great meaning.
Inspector Javert, please a glass of water. And Inspector, please, that lass is my daughter. I only scratched that man because he attacked me. If I don't send money back for her, I don't know what exactly will happen to my poor Cosette. She needs medicine and I'm the only one to support her. Without me, she's set to die. Then get set to cry, cause I bet my eyes that you'll get 6 months. I wouldn't get surprised. And as for your sickness, I bet you lie. As the Lord is my witness, you will get tried. Where light is lost and the city's harsh and cold, and no one knows how the darkness holds your soul when love is lost. And men are cold and cruel. If I believed in love, then you might call me a fool, but my love still lives. Her heart is beating in my chest, and my soul will never rest until I know her life is blessed. Although I know I'll never see her, because all I see is death. Cosette, you're all I live for, all I care for, all I dream of. My only wish in life is that I could make you see my love. Here I lie in my bed of sin. God, I had to sell my body for your medicine. You shine as bright as all the lights invented by Edison. I know that I'm a sinner, yet a sin can be for love. I love you, Cosette. I love you. I love you. I know you needed a mother, but I had no choice. The world cares not for for single mothers, they see only sin and vice. I loved your father, but he fooled me. He wanted only one thing, so many love songs. I wish he could unsing. The coward left, not walking but running. Perhaps one day he'll learn there is only one king, because I know now as a certainty that he worships another. He left nothing but a world of pain for his lover.
Valjean enters the police station. He pauses and looks at Fantine with great concern. He walks over to her, and she spits at him. Javert rushes at her with the baton.
Let her be. Mister, you dismiss me. My mistake is still a mystery. Now my virtue is history, and I'm working in the blistering cold, and men attack me. I try only to defend myself. I'm here because of you, and now I cannot send what wealth, what few francs I can make to keep my dear sweet child alive. Because of you, Miss Madeleine, Cosette may die. First of all, Inspector, I've heard from the witnesses. Those men were throwing snowballs at her. I think your mental fitness is impaired. As a man of the law, this is a clear case of self-defense, according to what 5 women saw, Mr. Mayor. You have no authority. Those were women of the night. Objectives what I sought to be. I'm the final authority in the town of Montreal. Defy me and be sorry, for you will have lost a job, Fantine. I heard what the foreman did. He had no virtue, yet behind virtue he hid. I wouldn't have deserted you if you'd alerted me about your kid. You were one of our most virtuous, I would never have gotten rid. You're free, Fantine, yet the cold has made you sick. An honest woman fall into vice, so boldly life plays tricks. But know that though she may be sick, Cosette will have my protection. I'll keep her safe and warm, I'll protect her from infection. I can't believe I spit at you just moments ago. Please give Cosette this token. It's broken, but you'll know. I'll bring the pendant, and Javert will be the defendant, not you. As for Cosette, she'll be resplendent as my dependent. She'll never be sentenced to a life of hardship. Under my guardianship, she'll study in school. I'll make sure she excels. I'll make sure she gets well, and even if she rebels, what befell you will never befall, sweet Cosette. Don't worry at all, she shall not be bereft. Let me write you a letter. You'll be her guardian, I'll sign it now. And please, if I may ask one thing, write as swift as time allows. This happens over my objection. This woman does not deserve protection. She's probably got some sailor's bastard growing in her midsection. I'm an inspector, and that's my inspection. The proper place for whores who scratch and spread disease that scores will catch with festering sores by the batch when they snatch up the trash that these prostitutes sell for quick cash. Is prison. She belongs in jail. I hope, Mr. Mayor, in your duties you won't fail. Men don't change, can't change, won't change, and some women without question are destined for flames. I've got no confession, I've got no blame, got no raging flames to tame. It's crazy that the craziest amazingly think they're sane. Like you two lunatics who knew you were sick enough to do this trick of seducing this Saint Nick who seeks to paint all of your tricks as only misdemeanors. Or are you so lonely you see only the cleanest motives in this lotus flower full of nasty diseases? Born bad, I scorn that. You were born bad. You're sad, dry your tears. You deserve 5 years. Or maybe you're so sick that you'll die right here.
Javert leaves the station and slams the door. as Fantine coughs, Valjean takes her hand and looks at her with great compassion.
People are people, our people are people. We become what we are. The steeple will teach us that people are equal. Even a violent thief could rise to be a star. The steeple will teach us that people are equal. There's always a way to go back. No matter how far down the wrong road you go of divine love, there is no lack. He loves us all the same, the loveless and the lame. If there is a highest power, isn't each of us his flower? Nobles in the highest towers, the poor, the wretched, the insane. He loves us all the same. We become what we are. Some luxuriate in sunlight, some are hit, kicked, and scarred. Some are saved by grace, some covered in spit and tar. Some never get so far as to get a bedtime story, a formal education, intellectual glory. Treated so poorly, they only get one warning. Struggle just to eat while the feet society scorn. And what a torment to do the work the educated find boring. Well, it's the cushy jobs that society's rewarding. Rewording the statutes to make poverty a crime. Erecting statues of slave owners while there's wage slaves all the time. A poor child never read, lifted up by his vocabulary. Running from constabulary, never really had it very easy when his only education's the streets. We abandon our children. The nation should weep, all creation should weep when no patience is heaped upon the latest generation, never shaped by the sheets that have been read between the covers by a lover of books. I only recently discovered them, but now I'm hooked. I learned to read at 33. After years in the pen, my mind was freed when I wielded a pen. Revealed the gem was my mind. Learned how to add cadmium and iron oxide to glass in a process now worth millions of francs. They call it black jade. I make a killing at the bank, but my mission is to spread my wealth to people just like me. Set up libraries so that their minds are free. Put my past behind me and uplift the town of Montreal, cause the most small-minded aren't small-minded at all. I think in the whole world there is none who's your equal. People are people. You're regal. You were born to be a king, but I'm ashamed to ask one more thing. Speak. I'll do what I can. I have a letter from a man who was not truly a man. He says we do what we can, but if you knew his true plan, he'd be damned. He wants every pretty penny. I cannot understand how a man can value francs over cassette. You'd understand better if you read this letter. My dear esteemed Fantine, dear queen, it seems Cassette has seen bad dreams. I don't mean to be mean, but her medicine's costly. And I don't mean to be alarmist, but these pharmacists are ghastly. So if you ask me, if you task me, we're trying to pass the cost of her care to you, Fantine. Then lastly, just to keep our sweet Cassette medicated, dressed and fed, we need 50 more francs or we fear she'll be dead. Your daughter's most humble caretaker, Auguste Thénardier. More is all they ask for, more is all they take. More for her room, more for her board. They take everything I ever make. Cassette will live, Cassette will thrive. I'll ride tonight, she'll arrive alive. That's what I decide. With you by my side, she'll live life with ease, not strive and strive.
Javert paces the lobby of the police station, looking very angry.
I lay my plans plans. The dam must be damned, and I can't understand how we slipped through my hands like an hourglass sands. I lay my plans, I lay my plans. What a disgrace, a city led by a thief. It's a pity that this city could be said to be ready to be headed by me, but instead an ex-convict has been let free. I'll set the example necessary. I'll catch him at his own game, send him to the cemetery. Do the city a favor by rewarding his behavior with a life sentence of hard labor. I'll shine the light of truth on this dirty slime. I will shine the light of truth when victory is mine. I'll shine the light of truth on a festering cesspool. I'll shine the light of truth and bring death to this fool.
Javert continues to pace, angrily. Then he stops. He pauses. And then he enters the part of the station where Valjean is talking with Fantine in her jail cell.
You're friends with whores now, how appropriate. You probably hoped I'd quit, but I hope you know this. I must confess a misdeed of my own doing. From Montreal I've been truant, pursuant to the ruin of you, Mr. Mayor. I fear I've deeply wronged you. I've denounced you, pronounced you a convict who was long due, who was on to his second decade of abandoning parole. But I know that I'm wrong, for another man has this role. My truancy was in Paris with a criminal called Jean Valjean. So my deepest apologies, I was wrong, all wrong. I insist you dismiss me. This instant I'm shaking visibly. My head is spinning dizzily. I'll seek out new work busily. I'm as guilty as a criminal who gossips and banters. If you seek to be just, have me arrested for slander. Stop, I'm sure that his likeness was quite like my likeness. Your gripe had no basis. You'll stay here despite this. You're right, this man looks exactly like you. In fact, from my viewpoint, he just might be too. It was a man named Dumas who claims to be mentally retarded. They'll cart him off to prison, and he's soon to be departed. His guilt is definite as testified by 20 prison mates. They didn't hesitate. His guilt decides this inmate's fate. There's nothing left for him to do. Unless, of course, the guilty one is you. You've killed her! I'm lost, trapped like an animal, I'm lost. I'm walking with a cannibal, Javert. He would eat me alive, I'm lost. I lose my soul, I lose my life. I lose my freedom, I can't defeat him. How can I beat him when he's mistreated? A living, breathing man whose heart is beating, who needs his freedom as much as I. But I'm the guilty one, but they'll try him and see only filthy scum. People die in that prison, literally killed with guns. How can I, when I'm the criminal one? Between the devil and the deep blue sea, it seems Javert has seen through me, and that we use as a man like a bargaining chip. And the life that I've built is starting to rip. So now I have to think about a parting gift. I trade my life for one man. The earth starts to shift. My workers, my loyal, hard-working workers will surely regard me as a cowardly deserter. And how can I desert them? How can I hurt her? These people need me, they depend on me. How can I alert her? The cassette will be beaten, mistreated and abused, but an innocent man I'll send to hell. No matter what I see, I lose. I'm lost, trapped like an animal, I'm lost. I'm walking with a cannibal Javert. He would eat me alive, I'm lost. I lose my soul, I lose my life.
Valjean, well dressed, rides his horse into downtown Paris. He dismounts, ties up his horse, and begins to climb the steps of a giant stone courthouse.
Stop, sir, stop. There's no access to the courthouse except for government officials, or you'll put us in the poorhouse. But I've gotta get in. I'll be quiet as a dormouse. Anyway, I'm a mayor, and what I say will have the court roused. Go then, go. Onward so, enjoy the show.
Valjean enters a large courtroom where a lawyer speaks.
So Gerard Montfermeil, tell us what is real. Is this man Dumas a half-wit? I appeal to your honesty in this matter. A man's imprisonment or freedom depends on your testimony. If this is Jean Valjean, then greet him. Yes, I know that a life hangs in the balance. I also know of this ex-convict's talents. Jean Valjean, I know that's you. You know it's true, so don't act confused. That ruse you use, just lose it. You're no half-wit, you know the truth, so choose it.
The defendant speaks.
Well, if you say it, I mean, I really don't know, but you seem quite sure, so I guess I could be Valjean if you wanted me to be. Who is Valjean again? You said that you could see his face in my face, so I guess we switch places. I could be him, but maybe not. All my thoughts have no basis.
The prosecutor speaks.
I must attack this act that's so lacking in facts. This man backs up his act with a complete lack of tact. He pretends to be stupid, moronic, and slow, but he is Valjean. You've heard these men say so.
The real Valjean rises.
Your Honor, may I please speak? These informants' performance is weak. I know this cause I know them, every last one. This man should be free. I see the injustice that's done, Your Honor. This man seems to be a goner, but Lady Justice has a false case upon her. These witnesses and this lawyer are wrong. It is I, who is Jean Valjean.
The courtroom gasps and the judge speaks.
I've met you, Mr. Madeleine, and I think you drink a fifth of gin. We've heard from 7 witnesses. I don't think your mental fitness is sound. Have you been pounding shots? Have no fear, mister. The crook's been caught, Your Honor. Your Honor, with all due respect, I am Jean Valjean, as you'll soon detect. This man here, Maxime Fournier, listen to what he'll say. We fought on Bastille Day. He punched me in the face and I slashed him with a bar. Lift your shirt, Maxime. On your back there'll be a scar. You know my face, Baptiste. On my rations you would feast. Your last name's Marchand, but your nickname is the Beast. And Antoine Boucher. What about you? If you want to know who's who, show them your tattoo. If anyone insulted her, you'd have fought them to the death. Courtroom, hold your breath. His right arm's tattoo, Claudette. What? Did they promise you riches? How often did you all say snitches get stitches? How rich is it that you're all snitches now? Go back to digging ditches, you sons of witches, stand down. So I ask this whole courtroom, isn't it a sin to convict an innocent citizen? To send this poor man to prison, you had the will for it to be done, but Dumas is innocent. I'm the guilty one.
The judge speaks.
It seems you've made a transformation. We await your testimony with anticipation. I think we're all stunned, baffled and confused. Part of me still thinks this is some ruse. Some say people are born bad. I say our souls are torn and battered. The world can show you love, or show there's only one thing that matters. Some say stars were born stars. I say we become what we are.
Javert paces back and forth in the police station. A uniformed officer bursts in and speaks.
Javert, he did it. He admitted his guilt. I knew it. I won't quit till he's imprisoned or killed. It makes me visibly ill that this criminal was our mayor. Javert, no more will I be a naysayer. If you care about upholding our city's reputation, I've lost patience with waiting. Let's get out of this station.
On the other side of the stage, we see Valjean in his house, quickly grabbing some possessions and stuffing them into a suitcase. As he is doing this, Javert bursts into the room. Javert immediately aims a handgun at Valjean. The police officer who liked Valjean and gave Javert a tour of Montreal surprises Javert on purpose, and Valjean takes the opportunity to throw a vase full of flowers which hits Javert in the chest. Then Valjean rushes Javert and slams his head into a wall as they struggle. The second Javert becomes unconscious, Valjean takes his gun and flees to a carriage.
Take my gun too, or he'll say I should have used it. You're a man of great goodness. I pray you won't lose it.
Valjean jumps into a carriage and rides off.
I'll lay my plans, I'll lay my plans. I'll ride fast, forget my past, fight till my last or be damned. I'll lay my plans, I'll lay my plans.
Two girls, nicely dressed, 10 and 11, play with a dollhouse on the first floor of a small two-story inn. They laugh and talk to one another. Cosette, 8 years old, dressed in rags, sits in a corner, peeling potatoes and grating them with a metal grater. A thin, middle-aged woman addresses her.
I said, grate those potatoes, now wait till tomorrow. So speed up your grating, your fate will be sorrow. My belly is hollow, I'm so hungry I swallow. A 4-day-old roll, can I even just borrow? Borrow, you'll eat when your chores are all done. And if you start snoring now, then of course there'll be none.
Cosette continues to grate potatoes. The thin woman offers peaches to her two daughters. When she looks at Cosette, Cosette grates the potatoes faster. She looks dirty, thin, sad, and miserable. Then she sings.
Mama, why don't you come for me? I've got nothing left to lose, mistreated and abused. Mama, what have they done to me? I sob every night, it's true. They've robbed me of my youth. 8 years old, I shouldn't know so much, shouldn't be touched so rough. I should know what's love. Mommy, I want my mommy. Only 8, but the weight of the world is on me. No mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, or auntie. But someday my prince shall come. Shanti, sad and alone, beaten and mistreated. God and the devil fight, but it seems like good has been defeated. Why can't I have what I want when it's only a mommy I needed? Don't I deserve a home, a family completed? Am I wrong to feel cheated? Some pay for the crimes that they choose. But all my life I've been good, but heard only bad news. Why do some children win and some children lose? Why am I used and abused? Sad and alone, these people are bad to the bone. How many socks have I sewn? How many toys are unknown? Why am I touched so much? For what sins must I atone? They treat me like meat, but there's no meat on my bones. Mama, why don't you come for me? I've got nothing left to lose, mistreated and abused. Mama, what have they done to me? I sob every night, it's true. They've robbed me of my youth.
On the other side of the stage, Valjean's carriage arrives at the Thénardier's inn. He parks his carriage and walks inside the modest inn. Thénardier walks up to him and takes his jacket.
Dear traveler, it seems you're long on the road. Please sit back, relax, sing a song and unload. We're so glad you've hit upon this humble abode. Put your troubles behind you, they were gone long ago.
Valjean looks at Thénardier, then makes eye contact with Cosette.
I'm hungry enough, I could eat for two. Then of course 2 bowls of our best meat stew. For a man like you, each is a sou. And how much if the girl eats too? Oh, that little thing? She eats for nothing. Don't worry about her, that ragamuffin. Now what is it you want? What did I say? What I'll pay for is for that girl to play. Of course you must think I have a heart of stone, or perhaps you're hungry for this tart alone. But of course she can play, at the start it's shown. She plays all the time, often parts unknown. Cosette, come here, come meet this fine man. Tell him how I treat you as sweet as I can.
Thénardier uses his hands to beckon Cosette over to Valjean, and then points to a chair. She sits. Thénardier sets bowls of meat stew and a bowl of rolls and butter before them. Cosette, sitting across from Valjean at a small table, looks at him, pauses for a minute, then starts sobbing.
Sweet child, there's no need to cry. What do you do it for?
It's just, I've never had meat stew before. You're not like them, are you?
If you mean I won't mistreat you, beat you, or starve you, that's right. I'm not like them. I loved your mother. She was a gem.
So she's gone. My mommy is gone.
I'll make sure no harm comes to you, Cosette. Be strong.
Thénardier comes by the table.
So if it's a tart that you like, you can have tart for dessert. We could even dress this one in a tight little skirt. How much for an hour? 100 with our supervision. For a day, I'd say 1,000 if that is your mission. And to take the girl with me, that's not our decision. And despite this, she's priceless though if you petition. But no, only to her guardian have we the right to give her. Then it's only right this letter I might deliver. Our dear Fantine has passed away. Cosette's guardianship has passed today. No more making Cosette slave while your daughters are partying. As of today, I am her guardian. No haggling, no negotiation, but I'll give you 1,500 francs for your cooperation.
Valjean drives a carriage with Cassette by his side. They race through the French countryside.
Sir, what shall I call you? Call me LeBlanc, old teen. You look like your mother, like a beautiful dream. I promised her I'd care for you when I swear it true. I swear you'll have the best life. I promised her you'd have a blessed life. Was she your wife? Just someone I loved. You seem like a good man. I do what I can. I do what I can. Sweet child, I will protect you. You're a good man. It's easy to detect you. I'll earn your trust in time for now. Just shine like the star you are. I feel safe inside this car with you. Let it take us far. You'll have a new life, and everything will be alright. We're going to Paris, the city of lights.
Javert pulls up on horseback with 3 other horsemen and a posse. He dismounts and addresses Thénardier as he comes out to meet the policeman.
A man and a girl who are damned to this world. Have you seen this odd couple? To be a franc for your trouble. Yes, thanks on the double. A large man with rough stubble took our Cassette from us. You return her, I trust. We'll find that young whelp. Thank you much for your help.
Valjean and Cassette stop at an inn to get food and drink. Over a decent meal of stew and bread, they play rock, paper, scissors.
I've got a scissors, but you got a rock. The score's 9-1. What luck you've got. Now I've got a rock and you've got paper. The score's 10-1. You've got victory to savor. I feel free, oh team. I feel free here with you. There's nowhere I'd rather be than here, it's true. Your mother will be so happy, and I'm so happy too, Cassette. But the Thénardiers are after us, we can't celebrate quite yet. We've got to run fast, so fast we can't lead them. We gotta fight, Cassette. Fight for our freedom, our freedom. It's all that matters. They'll come after us, but won't capture us. We'll leave their flag in tatters. We fight for freedom, freedom, love, and peace. We fight for freedom. We've both been in the belly of the beast. We fight for freedom. We've made it out of our cage. We fight for freedom. No more hatred, no more rage.
Javert and his posse stop at the inn where Valjean and Cassette were playing rock, paper, scissors. Javert addresses the innkeeper.
A criminal and a child, how vile may have been here not long ago. We'll pay you a franc if you tell us what you know. That's right, a girl and a very large man. If you're investigating, take charge, man. They were born bad, and they'll pay for their sins. Today is the day, there's no way they'll escape. There's no way they'll get away, for the devil is their kin.
Valjean and Cassette make it to Paris, where there is a wall. They see Javert and his posse gaining ground on them fast. Valjean thinks quickly and takes out a knife and cuts off a piece of rope that's hanging from a lamppost. He uses it to help Cassette tie onto him, then climbs the wall with her on his back. They fall to safety on the other side. They are in a convent with a beautiful garden. Amazingly, Monsieur Fauchelevent approaches them.
Mr. Mayor, is it you? It can't be, and yet to the man I see in front of me. Insanity! It is I and my daughter, I'm amazed as you are. But now it is I who is trapped under a food cart. There's bad men behind us who are trying to capture us. If you could give us shelter, we would be rapturous. Of course, monsieur, I owe you more than my life. I adore you, that's right, look before you. This light shines upon the convent of Petit Picpus. I'm the gardener and I need a helper. I pick you. We'll be the only men here. We'll wear these bells so the nuns can run away, and your daughter here can attend our school starting from today. I'll pay whatever I need to pay. And what you're running from, you need never say. You need not ever tell. I'll do what I can to help. From each one what he's able, to each one what she needs. For each of us has sweat and tears and red blood when we bleed. He said, let each do what they're able, let each do as he must, and you shall feast upon my table. if it's in God you trust.
Javert goes around and knocks on the front door of the convent. There is a sign that says, Convent of Petit Picpus. No one comes to the door. Javert bangs again loudly. Then another member of the posse declares firmly,
I don't care who you are or where Javert you're from. You can't go in there scaring nuns.
Good night, my sweet love, in the morning you'll wake. The sun it will shine and the day it will break. Tomorrow is yours to do with as you please. Fly through the sky like a sparrow with such ease. Tomorrow you'll build castles and tomorrow you'll build dreams. Tomorrow you'll be a princess and tomorrow you'll be a queen. Tomorrow you'll be a hero and you'll save the whole wide world. Tomorrow you'll be my sweet and kind and loving little girl. Good night, my sweet love, tomorrow the world belongs to you. You sing us all your symphony with a voice that's pure and true. You use your head and you use your heart and you use your two strong hands. Your feet will touch on shores and hills of many foreign lands. But you'll always find your way back home, that's where your family lies. 'Cause love goes on forever, like the sun shall always rise. Fantine, dressed in a pure white robe, appears in a high-up balcony. She locks gazes with Cosette, and they gaze adoringly at each other. Then, Fantine slowly disappears. The curtains close. 8 years pass. The curtains open.
Faith of our fathers living still, in spite of dungeon, fire and sword. Oh, how our hearts beat high with joy whene'er we hear that glorious word. Faith of our fathers, holy faith, we will be true to thee till death. Our fathers chained in prisons dark were still in heart and conscience free. How sweet would be their children's fate if they like them could die for thee.
When Mass is over, Cosette waves as several other girls in the choir go in different directions. Valjean hugs Cosette. Sweet daughter, you ought to take your oaths in a week.
Father, I know that's what you seek, but that's not what I seek. I've never left this convent, not even for a peek. 8 years, Father, why have we never left? I never really told you, but I've always felt bereft. I want to know what's life, what's love, to reach for heights, to climb above the walls that surround me. I sleep too soundly. I want to feel profoundly.
But we're safe here, Cassette. This is our life. This is what's right. This is the light of Providence shining down upon us. We belong to God. It's a life that's honest.
Please, Father.
I'll fight for freedom, freedom, love, and peace. I'll fight for freedom, it's just within my reach. I'll fight for freedom, we made it out of our cage. I'll fight for freedom, it's time to turn the page. Nothing means more to me than your happiness, Cassette. How could I ask for your abstinence if it makes you upset? As happenstance, there's a gentleman I just met who's into real estate in Paris and knows a house that we might get. The abbess and several nuns say farewell to Cassette and Valjean as they step out of the doors to the convent and get into a waiting, horse-drawn cab. As they ride, Cassette marvels.
The city's so big, so loud, so rough.
I can't hear you. You're not speaking loud enough. I need to negotiate our mortgage, watch our luggage, and don't leave the cab. There are men who are thuggish all around in this city. It's a dangerous place. Don't trust a soul with a stranger's face.
But Papa, look at that cafe. They're playing beautiful music. The cabbie will watch our luggage. We won't lose it. Can I please go in just for a minute or two? If you want, I could go in it with you.
I'll be back in half an hour. I'm scared to leave you, but I won't be a coward. But stay right here in this cafe and have no fear. This is the day we find our house, a place to live. I'll make haste. I can't wait to give Monsieur Trudeau our down payment. Then for entertainment, we'll buy some decent raiments. They hug, and Cassette walks into the cafe. She takes a seat and enjoys the piano music for about half a minute. Then she pokes her nose out the door, looks around, and steps out carefully. On the corner of the stage, there's a young man making a speech loudly. She looks around and walks to the front of the crowd, which is gathered around the young man, who is standing on a soapbox. Marius is very handsome. France and the world live a pyramid scheme, where slaves like the pharaoh built a pyramid dream. The king of France is lapping up some serious cream. We fight and go to war over imperial dreams. A king who's never seen and an imperious queen. Our spirits are killed over material schemes. The poor and the hungry, inferior were deemed. But I believe in a cheerier scene. The interior of France could be superior and clean. The Industrial Revolution holds promise for all workers, like Mr. Madeline is honest and won't desert us. All an honest man wants is honest work for honest wages. It's outrageous that courageous men get found upon these pages of indictments and convictions when their crime is being poor. If it's criminal being hungry, then that crime should be no more. But I can feel it. I can feel the spirit bubbling. Lord knows these times are troubling, but in these trying times, freedom fighting is a must. And the people have trust. The Republic is us. Cassette claps and laughs at Marius' spirited delivery. Their eyes meet for a second, and a few seconds more. Then Cassette becomes self-conscious and turns away. She turns around and makes her way back through the crowd, back to the cafe. Valjean is waiting for her in the cafe. I told you not to leave. You're bold when you deceive. I should scold you, but just do as I told you. Don't lose hold of me. You know that you're free, but you don't know this city, how cold it can be. Now come see our new home. Someone just sold it to me. Valjean and Cassette step out of a beautiful Paris townhouse. Cassette is dressed in a pretty dress, and Valjean is dressed in very modest clothing. They walk to a makeshift outdoor soup kitchen, where 25 men, women, and children in rags have lined up for free food. The female manager of the volunteers walks up to them and says,
"There's no one I'd like to see better. The beggar who gives alms. And Cassette, your beauty is purer than 1,000 psalms."
They all work together, ladling soup out for the poor. They talk with urchins, and one young man says,
"Monsieur, Mademoiselle, thanks for slumming in this dumb glum hell. I've become numb. 'Cause if I wasn't, I would yell. I would scream at the injustice of a world that buys and sells human beings like they're meat and flesh. My son, please have a seat. Get out of this heat and rest. Our Savior speaks about the meek, weak, and lame. If it's peace you seek, He loves us all the same." The first shall come last, and the last shall come first. If you're weak and you're lame, if you're in pain and it hurts, He said you forfeit your soul if by others' pain you gain. Why did He speak so much of the lame? Because He loves us all the same. He loves us all the same. He loves us all the same. He loves us all the same.
The dozens of hungry people dressed in rags move in a slow, lethargic way, almost dancing. Gavroche, you're every bit as good as a king. And by the way, I love it when you sing. Gavroche laughs and takes his stew. Gavroche then walks over to Cassette and taps her on the shoulder.
"Mademoiselle, I'm here to tell you, you have a secret admirer. He said in a million years I could never tire of her. If you said a bad thing about him, I'd say you're a liar, sir. He'd risk his life to save a kitten if a fire occurred. With a messenger like me, he'd never bother, but I think he'd never get past your clever father."
Gavroche motions his head toward Valjean, who is staring at the two intently. Then, another customer comes to get served hot stew, and Valjean gets distracted. Gavroche takes Cassette by the hand and leads her to the corner, where Marius is waiting. The two lock gazes for 9 full seconds.
"What is your name?" "Cassette. So nice to meet you. And what is your name? How shall I greet you?"
Marius. I thank the heavens that we met.
"I'm glad too. I better get going. It's getting wet."
If we dash to that cafe, we'll stay dry, I bet.
"Okay. Get ready. Get set."
They run over to a cafe and sit safely under its awning. We see them talking over a cup of tea. The lights get 2 hours dimmer. They leave the cafe and part with a handshake. We can't make out what they're saying.
"Butterflies inside of me. I feel this feeling that makes me free." Butterflies fluttering, butterflies fluttering. What are these words that I find myself uttering? Love is a word that I knew nothing until I saw this boy with his eyes glittering.
On the other side of the block, Marius sings.
Struck by a face that was magical, tragic. If I spend the rest of my life, wouldn't matter if I could just spend all my time in her company. The hint of her smile is sweeter than a symphony. Here
time stops. No one has what we got. Have no fear, my heart is true. I see no others, I see no lovers, I see no earth and sky. I see only you. Don't be lonely, just speak the truth. Your face puts the greatest painters to shame. I feel the same. The brightness of your eyes makes the sun and moon irrelevant. You're eloquent. You're infinitely elegant. The elements could rage with wind and fire. You freed me from a cage and I could burn if I'm a liar. I feel free too, like I'm dancing in the clouds. The cumulonimbus is my shroud. You've been endowed with Aphrodite's gift. You light me up like Prometheus. I might just ask that we kiss. They kiss. It is a long kiss. They look each other in the eyes and break into hysterical laughter. They kiss again. Cosette makes her way back to the soup kitchen. She slips back into her position behind a big pot of stew and begins ladling out bowls once again to the hungry people. The curtains close. When the curtains open, Cosette and Valjean are eating dinner in a very nicely furnished townhouse. Papa, I want to go out for a walk. That's fine, let's go out and walk and talk. I want to see more of Paris. I want to go out on my own. You're a female, and you're not fully grown. I'm more grown than you think. Let me be free to be me. You'd be quaking in your boots if you'd seen what I've seen. You can't keep me captive. We go nowhere, we do nothing. Don't be fresh. You get nowhere with this huffing and puffing. Who are you? My father or my jailer? I'm your father, and if I don't guard you, I'd be a failure. Strangers can be dangerous. Temptation can seem painless. You were put here for a purpose. Arguing is aimless. Then why so many secrets? You know I know. Your name is not your real name. Why do we hide like fugitives? When did you become what you became? Secrets, tell me the truth. How long can we stay in the shadows before we're consumed? So many secrets, tell me the truth. Where did you come from? What did you do? I'm trying to protect you. You're all I care about. I won't let them infect you with a careless world of pain and doubt, but you're right. I can't hide who I am. My name is Jean Valjean, but he died, that man. My childhood was poverty, no food, no bread every day. Left me with dread that I'd be dead. My mother was sick, and I stole one loaf. What a cruel trick. Fate stole us both. I spent 19 years breaking rocks in prison. Prison is suffering. It isn't living. Then I got parole, and I changed my life. I was deranged, I was caged, but a bishop set me right. I studied. I became an inventor. Books were my life. Books were my mentor. I invented black glass, became a capitalist, then a mayor. But there's never a naysayer. Life is unfair. Javert, my cruel prison guard, destroyed my life and your mother's, and now he isn't far. That's why we hide. That's why we run. Our entire life could come undone. I hope you don't think that I'm bad. Cassette, you're all I have. Cassette holds Valjean's gaze for 5 seconds, then walks over to him and embraces him tightly. After a 6 to 10 second embrace, Cassette says,
I love you, Monsieur Valjean. I'll always love you, Papa. For me, you do no wrong.
Valjean initiates another embrace. We see his face scrunch up a little bit as if he were going to cry. Then he contains himself. Sweet child, I think I'm coming down with a cold. I'm heading to bed early. I think I've grown old. Valjean leaves the room. Cassette quickly clears the table. Then she peeks into the hallway, slowly walks to the door, slowly opens the door, and exits the house, slowly shutting the door behind her. Marius is waiting there with a beautiful bouquet of flowers. They look into each other's eyes for a few moments with adoration, then kiss. Then they take each other's hands and walk to a nearby bench.
Knock me down with your beauty and your grace. You knock me down with your beautiful face. You send me flying into outer space. I think so clearly and yet I'm crazed. My heart is racing like I'm facing lions, tigers who are chasing, crazy, waking up nights pacing. God, your face is so amazing. Angels gazing, strangers gazing, nothing's fazing me. I'm chasing you until the end of time. If there's a hint, you could be mine. I see the magic in your eyes. To lose you is tragic demise. I feel the warmth spread in my belly. I told my best friends Joan and Ellie, my soul's on fire, my heart is beating. I know my dad will start defeating all my drives and all my urges. Tidal waves and ocean surges. I toss and turn in bed at night. You make me free, so get it right. It's not girlish infatuation. It's a much more dire situation. Here, time stops. No one has what we got. Have no fear, my heart is true. I see no others, I see no lovers, I see no earth and sky. I see only you.
35 men, ranging in age from 16 years old to 45 years old, are sitting in a large cafe with cream-colored walls. Most of them are cleaning firearms or melting lead and making bullets. One 20-something-year-old man yells out,
There's 400 of us, just in the ABC Society. Let's strive to fight with piety. Pure-hearted is what we die to be.
Javert is there in disguise and speaks.
The king seeks to make Lamarck his own with the funeral of the state. But he was a revolutionary, the king imbued with hate.
Another young rebel speaks.
They won't take our murder from us to make the country blind to evil. It never passes the eye of the needle. While we're dying from evil, what we need is upheaval.
Another young rebel speaks.
While the royals pretend they're on the side of the people, they keep us all poor when all we seek's to be equal. This ceremony is acrimony, but we've got enough powder to blow up this phony event that's pretend we were sent to send the message that the government cannot simply mend. Injustice with words, poverty with rhetoric, iniquity with falsity. We'll tell the truth and we'll make it stick.
Javert is still in his rebel clothes, but is in a nicely appointed police headquarters, talking with the captain, with several other police officers in uniform around him. These children are toothless, whereas we'll be ruthless. Here's a horn, son, go toot this. We'll trample them with our boots, piss. Of course they are, like petulant toddlers, but we'll surround them with 10,000 men. Don't call me a coddler. They'll crush their so-called revolution like roaches beneath our feet. Then never again will these terrorists broach our streets. They were born bad. Born bad. Some men were destined for glory. Born bad. Some men destiny's more gory. Born bad. Too many poor men have told me sad stories, but they're wicked to the core. I set them right, but they ignore me.
A uniformed policeman pats Javert on the shoulder. Cosette once again slowly walks up to the door leading out of her house. Marius is waiting there with a package of cherries.
Hello, hello, beautiful girl. Hello there, handsomest boy in the world. For a girl who's sweet, very, very my favorite. I love cherries. Cosette, you fill my thoughts. You're all I dream, and my heart is bursting at the seams. In the darkness, in the light, every waking minute, every hour, every day, and every night, I see you when I close my eyes. When the sky is raining fire, ice is all around us, but the flames are growing high. Souls are torn, but they never die. Come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me. Come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me. I've known you for a month, yet I'd spend eternity. It's burning me, this yearning. See, say you won't be spurning me. Not for 1,000 golden palaces, a dominion of the kingdoms, and 1,000 olden atlases. Your bold yet Alice says you feed the hungry every Sunday. I look into your eyes and want to see them humbly every Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is yours and my day. Every day if we do it my way, my father wants you to hit the highway. But that's not what you say. That's not what I say. You gotta find a way, not just to hide away. I die to make you my bride today. Don't die and I'll be your bride today. This is not a game. I won't try to play. But if life is a game, I'll always play on your side, in sickness and health, till the day that I die. Early some in love with the words you say. I could cry, I could try not to cry, but my eyes can't be dry. I can't be alive if I can't be by your side. You're my destination. I've arrived. In the darkness, in the light, every waking minute, every hour, every day, and every night, I see you when I close my eyes. When the sky is raining fire, ice is all around us, but the flames are growing high. Souls are torn, but they never die. Come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me. Come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me.
They kiss.
Cosette, I love you so much, but I have to fight. I must do the thing that is right. The king thrives on poverty, he has no right. Tomorrow night's the night that we shine bright. You'll be slaying me with 1,000 knives if you don't stay alive.
I will. Cosette begins to cry and embraces Marius.
Don't get killed. elaborate funeral procession is making its way down a major avenue in Paris. At another corner of the stage, all of the rebels have assembled and are laying in wait. One rebel speaks loudly.
Today's the day, we seize the day, we'll lead the way, we seek the fray, we'll ease the way for the people to say, we want to be free today, liberty and justice for all, liberty, equality, fraternity, long live the Republic! Beat your drums and raise your rifles. The revolution won't be stifled. Beat your drums and raise your rifles. The revolution won't be stifled. When the words of disciples are slandered and libeled and the devil walks the streets unrivaled, when they attend church on Sunday but still people go hungry, when they starve half the country while sweetmeats are sundry, when fat cat aristocrats speak nonsense this and that, bourgeoisie hypocrites lie till we're sick of it, why spend our time bickering when the flame of life's flickering, the status quo sickening, it's time for a reckoning. We fight not for luxury, for freedom not thuggery, from northeast, west to southerly, none have it loverly, we use guns and knives to fight for our lives. Why should honest men strive just to stay alive? There's no glory in blood, but when we're forced to eat mud and the king chews on chocolates like a cow chews her cud, when the Grand Royal Palace is surrounded by slums, the will of the people will still be done. When nobles feast on cake and trifle, we will not be stifled. Raise your rifle! But there's a time to bear arms, there's a time to stop whining and care that they harm when there is no alternative. Starvation is certain if we don't pull the curtain and reveal that they're burning it. Our future, our families, they don't give a damn about me. To conquer insanity, come fight and stand with me. If we don't stand and fight, then evil beats right. They're deceitful and lies, so let us scream to the sky. Let right conquer wrong, time to get this fight on to right wrong. Sing a fight song! So fight for freedom, and freedom will prevail. Fight for freedom, cause justice cannot fail. Fight for freedom, liberty, equality, fraternity is here, my friends. I give to you all of me. Fight for bread, for life. Fight for our lives, we slay day and night. Fight for the right to fight for our rights, cause tonight is the night that the light shines bright. When the people unite, we don't bark, we bite.
The revolutionaries come out into the street and begin to build a barricade. Armed policemen who were previously not visible come out and engage the rebels in a shooting battle. Many fall on both sides, but the rebels are far outnumbered by the police.
Retreat!
One of the volunteers from the soup kitchen knocks on Cassette's front door. Cassette opens the door, crying.
Mercy, Miles, what's wrong, my child? I'm wild about him. I was in denial. He could die any time. He might be dead now. I have to get out! I have to get out!
Cassette walks quickly down the block toward the rebel headquarters. Javert, who is walking on the same block, sees Cassette as she is about to go into the rebel headquarters.
Such a nice young girl, mixed up in this world. Sweet little thing. What do you think you're doing?
The law's here to keep you from scum like this. Whoever you're wooing will be your ruin.
Off me, don't touch me!
I think I will touch you, thank you muchly.
He pulls out a pair of handcuffs. Marius steps out of the cafe, sees Cassette with Javert, hits him, then cuffs him. Valjean rushes out of the cafe. He sees Cassette kissing Marius.
So Marius, it seems you hooked her and caught her. Why Marius? Did it have to be my daughter? You could have any girl handle me. Why did it have to be my family? You thought you could handle it, but you'll have to handle me.
Papa, I love him fiercely, and that sears you what appears to be, but it's right. I know it's right. Besides you, he's the only good thing in my life. Don't hurt him. Don't push him away. Our love is pure. I'd marry him today.
And try me by fire if I lie. I'd die to make her my bride.
Valjean takes Cassette by the hand.
My child, this is not the time to talk. Don't balk. Go home and run. Don't walk. Madame Kernisson will go with you. Take this. It's all I have to give you.
Valjean hands Cassette a money clip of bills. Madame Kernisson tugs at Cassette's hand, and the two hurry off, Cassette looking backwards at Marius. Marius quickly leads Javert into the rebel headquarters, and Valjean follows. Inside the rebel headquarters, several rebels quickly take hold of Javert. Valjean takes Marius aside.
Son, if you love her, fight the good fight. I'd rather have a son-in-law than another corpse tonight. The rebels have retreated. They've blown us all to tatters in the end. It's only love that matters. My comrades are still dying on the barricades. If I have to fight the good fight, it's their lives that I'll save.
He runs off with gun in hand. Very young teenage and even preteen rebels are brought in wounded, some critically. One rebel says to another very young wounded rebel,
Gavroche, you were a baby, and yet it's you who saved me. I'll avenge you with every ounce of strength creation gave me. Some live to fight, some run, some crawl, shed blood, shed tears when the innocent fall. Some follow law, some die for a cause, some heed the call when the innocent fall.
The leader of the rebels slaps Javert in the face.
Squirm, you worm, you learn at a rate that's fast, but not fast enough. Exterminate this rat. Bribe me with power, bribe me with wealth, but it's time for you to die. I'll do it myself.
Valjean roughly grabs Javert's arms, which are bound tightly behind his back, and roughly leads him outside. He takes him into the street, then turns into a thin, dark alley.
All these years, why couldn't you let me be? I'm nothing to you. You could have just set me free. You're a criminal. You should kill me now. I'll never stop. So you'll kill me how? Tell me what'll it be? A gun or a knife? I'm letting you go. Run for your life. I'll do what I can, as a man of God did for me. I'll be that man of God that is now my destiny. I'll do what I can, for he was my enemy. I'll do what I can, but still he set me free. A man of the cross taught me to love my enemy. A man of the cross was the world's greatest friend to me. He gifted me some silver, but it's dignity he lent to me, which I can only keep if I love my enemy venomously. The serpent hisses, with two faces, the royal kisses. But no matter what sin or to what crime I'm sentenced, I must forgive and forget all vengeance.
Valjean pulls out a 7-inch knife.
How like you scum to cut my throat or stab me. You speak of forgiveness, you really had me. So cut me to pieces, hack off my head. Javert, back off! Boom! You're dead.
Valjean pulls out a gun and fires it up in the air. He then uses his knife to cut Javert free. He still has his gun in his hand. Javert squints at Valjean for 4 seconds, then runs off. More and more gunshots are heard. Marius comes stumbling onto the stage, clutching his side. A red stain is spreading through his grayish-white shirt. Valjean catches him as he is toppling to the ground.
Good God, son! We've got to run. I've got to get you to a doctor when we're done. But there's nowhere. There's nowhere to escape. But wait! The sewers. Where's the grate?
Valjean slings the unconscious Marius over his shoulder and makes his way into the sewer. As they make their way through the sewer, Valjean sings.
Some live to fight, some run, some crawl. Shed blood, shed tears when the innocent fall. Some follow law, some die for a cause. Some heed the call when the innocent fall.
After struggling to kick open another grate, Valjean emerges from the sewer, looks around, and catches his breath. He sees a bench, gently lays Marius onto it, then collapses into a sitting position on the bench. They rest for 10 seconds. Then Javert sallies up to them, pointing a gun. Marius is still unconscious. Valjean looks at Javert calmly.
Take me, old friend. It's me you want. Look at this sad boy, so lean, so gaunt. I won't put up a fight. It's a word I'll never even mention. But please, Javert, get this boy some medical attention.
Several other police officers come up behind Javert. Javert just looks at Valjean for 8 seconds.
Leave me with Valjean and make no noise, but find a doctor. Take this boy.
The police officers pick Marius up, put him on the back of a cart, and carry him away. Javert turns to Valjean and looks at him.
I've lived my life to protect and serve, unswervingly. I have never swerved. I've never in my life been so unnerved. You deserve to die in prison. That's what you deserve. You want to kill me, right? Isn't that right? I have no right, and I have no spite. I was like you once. I would die to fight. It was a man I tried to kill who showed me the light. But you hate me. You want me to suffer. Our Savior said, love your enemy if you want to love another.
Javert looks slightly confused, with narrowed eyes.
And I don't suppose you'd like to spend your life breaking rocks right to the end. The law says I have the right to send. I'd rather die than go back there again. I've lived by the rules, never broken the rules. I've been given the rules, spoken rules like a fool. But the rules that I've lived by cannot let me live life. I must give Valjean life, but then I can't live mine. My philosophy has failed me. My life is a sham. I've devoted my life to a system that was simply wrong, and now I'm damned. I can't allow that man to go. Yet I have honor. The rules are my life. So I'm a goner. You're a man who does good deeds. You're free. Javert unlocks Valjean's handcuffs. He stands on the river wall above the Seine. He closes his eyes and stands still for a few moments with his back to the river. Then, slowly and purposefully, he shackles his own hands in handcuffs, waits a few seconds, and topples backwards into the river. We hear a splashing sound. There are 15 seconds of silence. We see Paris and a bridge over the river Seine. Valjean walks slowly over to the river wall. He peeks over at the river. We see Cosette, Marius, Valjean, and dozens of rowdy partygoers, many masked for the Mardi Gras celebration in Paris. They're in front of the church, and a carriage is to the right. Cosette is in a white wedding dress. Marius is dressed very sharply in a suit from 1832 France. To my handsome new son-in-law and his beautiful wife, be dutiful to each other for the rest of your life. I know it's right in God's eyes, because both your eyes are so bright. I'm practically blinded by the light. Here, I've paid for this carriage, so off to your new home, and it's so much more than average marriage. Every Sunday be at the parish, and God will bless your lives. I'm a man who never cries, yet there's tears on my cheek. Let your hours seem like minutes, let your years seem like weeks. I've never seen love so profound. You found what you seek, now you're bound to be meek. And this world you inherit merits the love that you'll share when you share it. So my boy, you're not a boy, and my girl, you're not a girl. Take the joy you give each other and bring your joy to the world. Marius and Cosette give Valjean long, strong embraces, then get into the carriage and drive off. Valjean watches the carriage drive away. Then he yells loudly, "Freedom! Freedom! 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 You could fight for a lifetime, you could fight for a dream. It might take till the end of your life, but it seems all my life I've been fighting like a king for his queen. Now it seems that it's worth all the troubles I've seen. Freedom, 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 freedom. My love, my life, my liberty, I possess them unequivocally. Mythically, I've made a pivot, see, from constant risk of captivity to the ability to engage in any activity. No need to move with rapidity. My philosophy has proven its validity. Just an ordinary member of the citizenry. And I'll try to bring liberty to every citizen I see. 'Cause I found freedom, 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 freedom. The crowded street is full of all the cast members, dancing joyfully in Paris Mardi Gras style.